All right, so today we are going to talk about two-way tables, and this is what you need to do for your project. So we're going to shift gears from the frequency and relative frequency. There's not really a whole lot different other than before we just had categorical variables in one column, and now we're going to have rows and columns type of thing with two different pieces of information that we're going to be looking at. So without further ado, let's get started. Two-way tables are a type of data table that displays the frequency distribution of two categorical variables as opposed to one. So like what I showed in the video yesterday and in class, I believe, was my example of making a frequency table, but that was set up for today's stuff, like for a two-way table. So I was only looking at the salty, the sweet, and the healthy snacks. And then if you notice on the column left of that, we had gender as well. So those are two different variables, gender and then snack type. The primary purpose of a two-way table is to examine the relationship between these variables to gain insights into how they interact with one another. So, in other words, I may think that maybe there's a correlation between gender and whether you prefer sweet, salty, or healthy, and I can go through and I can collect data and look at it kind of side by side on a two-way table and gather some insights from that. So, for instance, here is a two-way table that looks like it has gender and then like preferred transportation. So summarizing something like this, if we imagine we collected data and we asked, 60 males and 45 females how their how they commute or whatever to school or work, these are the results. So 30 males out of the 60 go by car, 10 of them out of 60 go by bike, and then 20 out of 60 go to public transportation. And then you might look at this number and say, well, females, like there's less overall females, but this already looks kind of weird. Not weird, but it makes me wonder if, well, maybe females like public transportation maybe isn't as safe. So maybe they make sure that they're able to get to wherever they need to without doing that. I don't know. Like that may be something that when you're doing your interpretation, you might consider. Like, why is this less, or why are some of these other areas like more type of thing. So the table is constructed, if you notice, with rows and columns. Each row represents a category with one variable, while each row, I think I said that, and then each column represents a category of another. So each cell in the table indicates frequencies or a count of occurrences for the corresponding combinations of the two variables, and the table often includes marginal totals, which add the entries of each row and column to provide the overall totals for each variable. This helps us understand each one individually. So our relationship analysis, like between these two, by examining the data, we could analyze whether there's a relationship between gender and the mode of transportation. For instance, if males prefer cars while females prefer bikes, that may indicate some type of trend. So these are some areas in which two-way tables are often used. Market research, epidemiology, and health studies, looking at risk factors between health outcomes and risk factors. And to summarize, the two-way table is a powerful tool for examining the relationships between two categorical variables, making it easy to identify trends and patterns and whatnot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Canvas. I'm going to switch my screen. So this is the calendar that you should see on Canvas. It may be a little bit different because this is the different year that I made this video. So the days may be off, but if you will find where it says the two-way tables or the preferred snack survey, preferred snack Google Sheet, we're going to start by just filling out that survey real quick and hitting submit. And then now that we have filled out that survey, we're going to go through and we're going to click on the results. And we're going to make a copy. And now we should be able to see everybody's responses from last year and from this year and see if we can kind of get some information that way. So we're going to start by doing kind of like what we did last time, and I'm going to switch over real quick so I can talk through this a little bit quicker. So I have, I want to start by creating a two-way table. I'm going to put my title really at the top, preferred snack, or what type of snack do you prefer, something like that. And we're going to merge those cells together, make it look like this, give your cell a title, merge, center, color, fill, font color, border, etc. And then we're going to choose to have one of the columns represent one variable, so our gender, and the other columns to represent our snack type, like so. And I'm going to assign gender for rows and snacks types for columns to look like this. So far yours should kind of look like mine. I got this set up to where it looks kind of like a spreadsheet. And so I have sweet, salty, healthy, male, female, and blah, blah, blah. And now we can either manually count up how many responses were male and preferred sweet and repeat for all, or we can do our count if command. But this is going to be slightly different because we have two different things that we're counting up. So the way that it works is with the count ifs is I can't remember if it was count if with an S or maybe it was just count if. This is count ifs. So there's an extra S, and this is in your notes. And wherever your gender column is, we're going to select that entire row. So this is kind of like what we did. So if just imagine that my spreadsheet existed over here, I want to select if in column A we're all just male and female, then I would select column A, comma, and then I want to find out how many of them were male. And so this is going to count up, this command right here is going to count up everybody that chose male in column A, but also chose sweet. So male and sweet. So I'm going to select column A. I'm telling it what I want to search for. And then I also want to say those that did this, I also want to see which ones, because sweet, salty, and healthy are in column B. I also want to see which, or maybe it's column C. I think it's column C in your spreadsheet. So this would be B and this would be C. But in column B, or wherever the sweet, salty, or healthy is, and I want to let it know what that word is. And so when I type that in, I'm going to repeat this for those five, for those other cells. So sweet and male, salty and male, healthy and male, so on and so forth. Okay, let me walk you through how to do that real quick again. So I'm going to go equals count ifs. So with an S, I want to select the range that I want. So I'm going to do male first. So anywhere in column B, comma, if I see the word male show up, don't put spaces after the quotes. Then I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to say, so anywhere there's a male show up in column B, and in column C, sweet showed up. So comma, and then sweet. I got 18. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to pause my video. Well, I'll do one more, and then I'll pause my video and finish this. So I'm going to do count ifs again, and this one is male and salty. Oops. So I want to go back to where the gender was, and I want to select anything that said male, but also from column C, selected salty. Okay. I already had this formatted in something else earlier. Oh, this is okay. I use this same spreadsheet. So, and I made it as a percent at one time, so it was blank. So I guess it's still, I forgot to unformat it as percent. So if that happens, you can go up here to format and just select like number and automatic, and it probably will change that. Or you can select this and get rid of the decimals. This may also be the same thing, but I'm going to pause this. I'll do one more, and then y'all can do the other ones. So count ifs with an S. This is male and healthy, so I'm going to go over here, select, I want males. So where does males show up? Oh, it says male with a no S, comma, and then from column C, comma, healthy. Okay, and then I'm going to pause my video, and you guys should definitely fill out the rest of this. I did want to unpause this real quick and show y'all kind of a shortcut too when you're thinking about this. If I go here and hit enter or equals, this pretty much has what I want other than the word male. So if I can go through, it has everything. I don't have to retype it. If I go ahead and hit tab and keep that in there. Now I need to change this because I want females to show up because this is my female row, but I do want healthy. So if I go up here to the top in this toolbar, I can just change this to female right here. And then I get that. Cool? Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the totals of these. So I'm going to calculate the totals of each row. So I'm going to have totals for my rows and for my columns. I need to try to remember to change this for next year so y'all can see all of this. Okay, so totals, we'll make these totals as well. Okay, it doesn't matter where we start. I can find the totals of suites. So when we're finding the totals, we're just adding them up. So this suggests, do you want to add these two columns together, or these two rows together right here, these two cells? That's exactly what I want to happen. This says equal, do I want to add these? That's exactly what I want to happen. We're going to go up here to format, number, and automatic. Change this. Do I want that to happen? Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to do the same thing for each one of these rows. So do I want to add these rows up? Yes. Do I want to add these rows up? Yes, I do. And do I want to add these rows up? Yeah, that's fine. I can do those, or I can do the other ones. Either way. If I added these up, that should be the same thing as these. Okay, so from this table, if I finish this, let me go ahead and finish formatting this. All right, so we've got all that. And then we're going to create a text box and respond to the next few questions in this text box. So we're going to look and compare the totals of each category, look for trends in data, such as whether certain data values tend to occur more frequently, and write that in the text box. So to create a text box, we're going to go up here, insert, drawing, and text box right here. And then we can just select this range like so. And we can look at our let's see, try that again. Insert drawing, text box, can't move this out of the way to be able to answer this. I'm going to just type something real quick like that. See where that shows up. Okay, so here's my text box. Okay, I can click and drag this around. So I want to be able to look at any extreme differences in frequencies between both categorical variables. I might wait to actually go ahead and do this until I get some of the other stuff like my bar graph and pie charts and stuff done. Not pie charts, but bar graphs. We're not going to do a pie chart for the two-way table. Well, I mean, we can see like which one of these had the highest. Like, it looks like salty snacks overall were the most popular, like between males and females, like that had the most. Um, the but more females, like out of the females, more of them preferred salty ones. Out of the males, more preferred sweet, but not many. And then healthy was like the most unpopular opinion on both of those. So like we might say something like looking at our data, we can say something like our data suggests that out of the snacks, the snack choices, what was it? Sweets was the most popular overall. Females preferred sweets over salty and healthy. I might be saying this backwards. I can't see it because it's right in front of my face. I can't look at my table. And males preferred the opposite of that. Sweet, salty, maybe. This I could have this backwards. Males prefer salty over the other options. All and both genders preferred sweet or salty over healthy. So something kind of like this, and then we have like a little text box that shows up, and then I can drag this around and whatnot. Let me zoom out for a minute. Okay, I don't know why that thing is blue right there, but okay, that's really annoying to me, but oh, maybe it was part of the text box that I tried to create a second ago. All right, so we're also going to do something similar with this. We're going to create a relative frequency table, like underneath this. So I'm going to move this down a little bit or out of the way. And I'm going to create a relative frequency table. I'm going to go ahead and copy my formatting. And when I do this, I'm going to just copy this part right here. That's all I want. And I'm going to re-copy it. So I'm going to do it right underneath here, hit Control V. And from here, I'm going to have to change what's inside of here. But I just want to get an idea in terms of the proportion, because we did have more guys fill this out than girls. Not much. I mean, it was pretty even across the board, but sometimes you may run into a situation like that, and you may be concerned with the proportions, right? If you had 100 males fill this out and only 15 girls fill this out, your data, like that you write over here with your analysis, things that stick out to you, you may want to know those proportions, because like it doesn't make sense to say guys prefer more of this if you had 100 dudes and 15 girls submit their survey, like out of how many total girls or how many total boys. So we're going to find the percentages right here underneath there. So I'm going to delete what was in those cells, and over here I'm going to look at, okay, out of the males that preferred sweet, I'm going to do equals, and this is going to be my column up here, see if I can zoom in, divided by my total amount of people that did this. So let me zoom in while I'm on this screen real quick. And I'll make all these percentages here in a second. Out of those that preferred salty, that were males, there were 17 out of 79 total people. That does not look right. Oh, okay, there we go. Those that were healthy, we had 5 out of 79. Female and sweet, there is 15 out of 79. There's 20 out of 79. And here there was 4 out of 79. So I'm going to go and format all of these as percentages. And let's just get rid of those decimals. It's easier to see. Okay, so and now this may look a little bit like, I don't know. I feel like having this relative frequency is nice. Where's that bottom one? I want it to look like that. There we go. I want these to have that border on the side. There we go. Okay, so now we have this in terms of proportion, right, out of the whole. So this is my relative frequency table. On your project, you will have to create both of these, frequency and a relative frequency table that will look kind of like this. And this will be done in spreadsheets. Let's see. Here's might be a better view of like what I was typing into my cells. If this is my original column up here, then with my relative frequency, I'm just doing those cells divided by the total. Notice all the denominators say H5 because that's where my total was at. So now we can look at this and say what was the highest and lowest percentages, like what was the most popular and what was the least popular. Well, overall, we can see that both males and females both selected less for the healthy, right? And the girls had a bigger difference between sweet and salty. The guys were kind of like right neck and neck, but just kind of making some observations based off of your collected data. Now we're going to create a formatted side-by-side chart. Do not highlight the title or total. In my examples, I'm highlighting what I have in yellow. So let me go back over here. And I'll zoom this out a little bit. So once again, I don't want to highlight my relative frequency table. I just want to highlight, I want all my category words to show up as headers, and I want my counts to show up. So I don't want totals in there. So I'm going to highlight starting from cell E2 through cell H4. And I'm going to go to insert chart. And this time I have a side-by-side chart. We can see our males right here and our females right here. We're going to essentially do what we just did the other day and format this. We've already talked about that. So if you're doing this at home or whatnot, you just need to format this and make this look good. I'm going to pause my video and do the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to unpause the video for a second. I've got mine kind of formatted how I like it. I chose the color brown sweet. I just thought like chocolate, salty. I don't know. I thought of Doritos, and healthy. I think of like broccoli. So those were why I chose my colors. I do want to change. I do like the 3D, I think. Let me go out of the 3D though, because I wanted to show y'all one thing real quick. So if you notice my female salty bar right here, notice how like that doesn't look consistent. It's like right at this line. And one way we can change that is like looking at the y-axis. Notice how this is going 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. If we go down here to our vertical axis, meaning up and down, we can select that, and right here it has what we want our min and max to be. Right now the maximum number I see is 20, and this clearly goes up to that. So let's take this up to 25, and then we can at least hit enter, and we can at least see the top of that bar, right? And I think that that looks a little bit better and consistent with everything else. So here is our, I'm going to go back. I do want to change this to 3D. I like that. And we'll do, yeah, something like that. Okay. And then the next part we want to do is we just want to make some observations. I'm going to go back here and add some, the questions that I want you to ask in your notes. Just basically saying like, what do these bar graphs tell us? So we should be able to look and see what the frequency is for the highest and lowest. And for some reason, this is right in front of my face, so I can't really see it. But I just want you to go through and be able to look and write something. And you'll have to do this for your project. Like, write what were your highest and lowest bars. I'll put my other slide up here so y'all can see what I have on the PowerPoint. So what is the highest and lowest bars, and what do they represent for your data? So looking at our data, I can see that the highest bar was for female, and that had to do with females and preferring salty over sweet and healthy. The next runner up would be males for sweet, and then the two lowest ones were both male and female, preferring preferring healthy. And that is all we have for today.